Yes, people. What's going on? It's Eagle Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Hope everyone's doing well. Today, we got an interesting show for you guys. As I did predict that Liverpool would drop points to Manchester United, so did Greg's. So big up Greg's. This game was interesting. We're going to break that all down. Plus, Arsenal go top of the Premier League table. Thank you, Manchester United. Thank you, Bruno Fernandes. Thank you, Kobbie, Mainoo. Big up to all of those guys for helping us out to get top of the league, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, Crystal Palace got pammed by Manchester City. If I'm not mistaken, Chelsea dropped more points. It's just the thread of the whole season. Their season's done and dusted. All they care about is the FA Cup. And of course, a little club called Tottenham won 3-1 and have a stranglehold now over that top 4 spot. Let's see how that works out. But yeah, before we go any further, we're going to go straight into the Manchester United and Liverpool game. I got Ram in the building, seeming ever so upset. Usually he's quite calm. Today he seemed a little bit upset. You got Dammy in the building, who's a Manchester United fan. You got Canadian Kim in the building, who's a Manchester United fan. So we're going to go heavy. We're going to go heavy with the Manchester United Liverpool stuff first. Guys, Dammy, you did not have any faith in your team going into this. Cam, did you have any faith in Man United?
We always play Liverpool well. Like that's one thing I wouldn't say I thought we were gonna win. But I didn't think after the FA Cup I was like, okay, cool. This is how we'll probably play them again, and then we'll be shit in our other games. We were shit in this game. We were terrible. Let's be honest. The first half was dreadful. Up until Bruno scored, we were terrible. I didn't expect that. I did not expect us to be that bad. I didn't expect the 15 goals in the first. I didn't expect 0 shots on target for the first half. Like I didn't expect any of that. I'm not one of those people who are like doomsday, like we're gonna get destroyed. I expect it to be decent. Outside of that, though, the result, I'm cool. At this stage where we're at, and the team that we were playing against, getting a draw against Liverpool, I'll take it. It hurt to lose the lead, but that's who we are. That's who we are right now. I actually thought when they got the goal, I'm like, okay, cool, we're going to lose this game. Like, that's what I thought when they got the second goal.
I thought you guys were going to lose also, but I'm very happy you guys held on. And I just want to say big up to Manchester United. For one day, I kind of felt what you guys feel winning your team, because your team is so frustrating to watch. And I get why Dammy has no chest for every game. Dammy, though, talk to me.
Do you know what it is here? You have to remember, we had the stream. When was the day that we had the stream? What day was that?
It was just the other day, like
it was Friday. It was Friday. So remember, it was less than 24 hours after our massive bottle drop. So my head was hot. Like I didn't even want to watch football. I didn't even want to watch the game. So yeah, I was downbeat. I didn't expect us to get anything because I just think all these guys are bums. However, we didn't play well. That's the funny. Well, we did for about bits of the second half. I think we attacking sense. But other than that, it's still a really, really shit game from us. Liverpool were literally just running through our midfield. I think there was a time when Szoboszlai was running through our midfield for about 30 yards, and the commentator started laughing because he's looking at this thinking, where's the midfield? But the fact that we potentially may have played a part in ruining their title race, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We have to wait and see. It's the only happiness that I can take from it. But other than that, it is what it is. Like it was a good NBA type of football game for the neutrals to watch, end-to-end stuff. Some missed chances from Liverpool. We should have probably lost 6-2. So, yeah, I'm taking that draw. Moving on to next week, I guess.
And you know what? Another person who wins this week, we got Jay in the building. His team has a stranglehold over top 4, as I was saying. Jay, what do you think of the United Liverpool game? If you watched it,
I did watch the United Liverpool game. I think Liverpool are ridiculous individuals. You lose an FA Cup game to United, yeah, and then I was looking at it, I was like, Liverpool haven't beat United this season. They've drawn twice and lost. Yeah, United are the reason that Liverpool are out of the FA Cup. United may just now be the reason that Liverpool do not win the Premier League. Yeah, to go in at half time having had 17 shots and just be 1-0 up was just ridiculous. Yeah, you played a similar game with them. You've let them turn it into a basketball game. You've shown no ability to put your studs on the ball and slow the game down. Yeah, you've given into your worst instinct at the worst time when you've just lost to this team a few weeks ago when you did the exact same thing. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous from Liverpool. So yeah, like regardless of the fact that Liverpool probably shouldn't have even drawn, they did it. They should really have won. United had no shots, like 0 shots, and it's just to allow yourself to drop points in this way at such a critical moment. If it was my team, my head would be on Mars. Yeah, because United aren't even good. So to take into account everything that I've just said, and then factor in the team that's doing this against you isn't even good. Conceded 25 plus shots to Brentford. Yeah, lucky to draw with Brentford. Gave away a game against Chelsea, and then I mean, just from a logic point of view, I just think it's ridiculous from what Liverpool have done today. It's just.
This is what I have been saying. Jay, if you could just put your camera room above your head. Yeah. There you go. Because then the comments covering half your body.
But see, the thing is, though, when you think about, like, if I was a Liverpool fan, like, you went to Old Trafford. Like, I mean, Ram, you've watched Liverpool for years. Going to Old Trafford is not a game you're ever like, yeah, woo, we're going to Old Trafford. That's no matter how bad. The context is no matter how bad we are, this game in the place that it was for Liverpool is never a good spot. Like it's a bad time for them to play.
Let me give you the context though. 1 second. I'm gonna let you jump in after Ram. I promise. The context for me is Arsenal just did what they did. City just did what they did. This is their last tough game. This was one of their opportunities to then. It's no longer in their hands now. Dropping these points. In a game where I get the history, I get everything else. Let's be honest. We watched the game. First half, they should have buried you. They should have won the game. Done. Should have been buried. They have themselves to blame.
They should have buried us, but Onana played ridiculous. To be fair, like this is the thing. I've always said this because I get upset when people say missed chances. Like I don't like the term missed penalty when a keeper saves a penalty. Because the keeper saved it. You didn't miss it fully, right? In my opinion. I truly think Onana saved us and stood on his head on some of those. I think there was a few moments. There was the one time where there's like, I think one shot that Mo Salah where I couldn't believe he skied it. That was one where I'd be like, okay, cool. Any of the saves where people were like, well, Szoboszlai should have buried some of those. It's like they were saves at the end of the day. And it is you can't ignore the heritage. Going to Old Trafford, it's like us going to Anfield. If we were in a title race and we were in the same spot and you said your only hard game left is going to Anfield, I'd be like, shit, that's the one game I don't want.
Let me stop you right there. Vader, you got a fixture against Manchester United in the title race. It's a must win. You drop in 2 points in this game. Could literally cost Liverpool the league. Don't you agree?
We beat City.
I do agree
because she beat us.
Cam,
but it's different. The competition wasn't that close.
What wasn't?
And also, City, when you beat them, they were the best team in the league. This Liverpool team is in a 3-horse race, and arguably they're the 3rd best team in that 3-horse
Technically,
race.
we're the best team in the league because they were top when we placed them. So by definition, they were the best.
We were top.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, you were top because games played. My bad.
This is what I'm going to say with regards to that question. I do believe you need to go to these grounds, regardless of whether they're at their strength or at their weakest, and you need to go and play for a win. I'm being consistent. The same way you guys thought I was being salty or mad of how Arsenal's approach was versus City. I think you go after these wins. Now, are you going to look back and say Liverpool should have been a lot more conservative? No. Are you going to go and say that they should have won when just 2 weeks ago or a week ago, Arsenal chose to actually go and play conservative and make sure to leave there with a point? So I think we need to be consistent, Igal. You can't be so aggressive on Liverpool and them dropping points when your manager took the very same approach in terms of like, you know what? It's not a must-win versus City. I can leave here with a draw.
Excuse me? I think 1 second. Stop it. Vader, don't compare Arsenal playing against Manchester City, which is a 6-pointer, to this game away at Manchester United. It's not the same.
Wait, why is it not?
It is the same.
Why is it not?
The reason being, if we play an open game and drop points,
against us.
Against no, I'm not talking about Manchester United.
Oh,
I'm talking about Arsenal versus City. To draw the comparison to Arsenal versus City and Manchester United and Liverpool is a false comparison. You cannot do that.
You're talking with regards to winning the league in terms of not being able to afford to draw points. That's the point. That's the point that I'm bringing up. We can't. Why are we going to crash it on Liverpool fans and their club for not getting 3 points when it looked like a genius move for your manager to go and make sure to get 1 point? So it's about staying within.
No,
it's about staying within striking distance.
Bea's got a point here because
is he crazy?
No, but you got just a point, because the reason Liverpool had control is because you drew with City. Now, if Liverpool then went on to win every game between now and the end of the season, the draw against City would have been fatal to you winning the league, right? But now Liverpool have dropped points now, and it's back in your hands. Now you might need to go lights out between now and the end of the season. Say you come to Tottenham and draw, will that draw then cost you the league to a point then when Liverpool, it swings and roundabouts? So Veta's point in terms of it just being a game and you should be going there to win regardless of the opposition because you're a top side, it holds a degree of weight because it will sway from team to team on results now. And
just to add Champions League as well.
This is where I think it's a false comparison. Vater, number one, slick move. Trying to compare the whole situation today and saying, oh, but Arsenal picked up 1 point against City. We picked up 1 point against a title rival who's currently sitting third. Okay, it's a big difference than losing to somebody who's not even trying to challenge for top four at any moment at this moment in time. And that you're absolutely pamming in the first half, and you should have buried. Liverpool fans today had 2 points dropped. Arsenal fans, when we came to the Etihad, it was 1 point gain at the end of the day.
The magnitude of this game, though, and how big it is, and given that they know that we are going to want to crash it on them, we are their biggest rivals. This is the biggest game, whatever you want to say, in this country's history, whatever. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't have won. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have come away with 3 points, whatever, because that was the aim. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world.
I think it is.
It's just now.
How
is it? No, but again, how is it the end of the world when you got Tottenham United away as well?
Let me just add one little thing.
Point across, though.
But you're missing the context, Igal. Can you remind everybody here the context of how you beat Manchester United? Because you've not played them away yet. But how did you beat Man United in the first game?
It was nonsense. It was bullshit.
I'm not going to say nonsense. It was in the 90th minute. Garnacho scored. Yeah, and it was just offside, and you went down the other end and scored a winner. 92nd minute, deflected off a corner. You were very close to dropping.
We haven't gone to Old Trafford yet, but one thing I can tell you, which every single one of you guys here can agree with me, out of the three teams, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, who is the most open team? Who is the team that gives away the most chances? Who's the team that looks the most vulnerable in 90% of these games? It is Liverpool Football Club. That is not a lie. Yeah, I don't think you guys can debate that. Now the reason why I agree with Amatis here, he said, I told you in November, it's only between Arsenal.
How is it? No, it was a dumb
comment. This is why. Because I know Liverpool right now have injuries. Liverpool this whole time they've been getting by sheer emotion and the whole situation with Klopp leaving and everything. The whole galvanization of the club has gotten you up to this level where you guys have been able to keep pack with Arsenal and City, but you have been third at best every single time. When it comes to how you play defensively, you've fallen off a cliff since January. You're nowhere near the level that you were prior to January defensively. What? Yes, you concede almost every other game. I don't see
it's been the same since. It's been the same since.
It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. And you're conceding against the likes of Luton. You're conceding against Manchester United. That's been the same since August.
That's
You
been
and
the same
City.
since August. So then it's Arsenal's
But like,
time.
I don't
Once
see
again,
why that
that's not
matters.
true.
Though.
That's not true.
Why does that
Up
matter?
until
That's
when
not
we
true.
played you, up until when we played you at the Emirates,
But
you were neck to neck with
No,
us.
but we were
But
still.
again, hold on.
we were
But why
still
does that?
open.
Why does? I'm kind of confused on why that even matters, though. Because the point is, all he was saying is realistically, like, you guys could have easily dropped points to us, like very easily. It was a very closely played game. It was not one-way traffic by any means. We played well that game. I remember it. That's why it's one of the most painful ones. Liverpool dropping points to us. Listen, I'm geeked out about it. Of course, I love the fact that we might stop Liverpool from winning the league. That is, I hate to say it, but I'm rooting for Arsenal to win the league because that's the less of all evils. The thing is, I just think they are the most open. I agree, but I don't think that matters. I think when we think about the run-ins, you can't call it a draw. They had lost the game.
September.
But if they had lost, if they had lost, it would have been maybe it's the end of the world situation. But I look at your schedule and I go, Villa, cool, you're gonna smoke them. Bayern, I think you don't smoke them, but that's a different conversation. You have Wolves, you should smoke them. You have Arsenal, versus Chelsea. As much as you should smoke them, that's still a rivalry, right?
Bro, this is
Tottenham. Your running is pretty crazy.
You're missing the point.
Plus, they'll be in between Real Madrid if they do get through a City.
Liverpool, out of the 3 teams that are in the title race, they have been riding their luck the most. As much as you want to go back to Luton and you want to go back to Manchester United, if you look at Arsenal's form since the turn of the new year, we have been the best team, no debate.
But your schedule's crazy coming up.
Yeah, it can be crazy.
But
I'm confident. I'm confident in my team. I don't see how. Bro, let me just bring it back to the game.
You go very agenda-y, and it's like
no.
I want to give you a fair rebuttal.
No, you went crazy once you said you agree with that.
I promise you. You guys will come back. You guys can come back at me.
Yeah, but you're not making any new points at this point. You just
let me make this point though. Liverpool against the top 6 have not beaten anybody besides who? Chelsea. When it comes to the teams in the title race, neither of them have been able to take points off. Arsenal and win a game. I mean, they haven't been able to win a game, right? Then you go to the teams lower down the table. If you actually look at it, on a consistent basis, Liverpool are resorting to late winners and close wins where they're conceding, where Arsenal have just been keeping clean sheets, blowing teams out. This is why I'm saying.
But hold on. So one thing.
With us being level on points.
No, but Egal.
With us being level on points,
when United were winning multiple trophies, they were scraping wins, and Chelsea were the ones that were winning.
You've got it. So here's the thing.
We cannot. Once again, the freaking standards have been raised by Pep Guardiola to the level where you have to win.
No. Okay, so you said your point. Hold on, because what you said there. Now I'm going to speak on it because that point is an interesting one. I don't care how you win. Personally, I've always said this, unless the football that's being played, which in United's case, it's dross, unless the football that is being played is an indictment on the results, then that's when it matters. Liverpool play the same way for the last 3-4 years. When they earned the nickname Mentality Monsters, stupid nickname, but whatever, when they earned it, guess what? They were winning all these games in the last minutes, the Barcelona win that came out of nowhere, all those. That is a weird. It is part of kind of who Liverpool is. They grind you down. They keep coming. And then by the end of the game, probably your team's worn out, and they're going to nick a stupid goal. It happens all the time, and it's unfortunate, but it's part of their ethos under Jurgen Klopp. Once he goes, we don't know. But under Jurgen Klopp, this has basically been who the Liverpool team has been for years. Where it's like with us, when we were doing it under Ollie, everybody knew it wasn't sustainable because you're like, the football, man, get lucky. Man, the football's not dictating what's happening. Even when Erik ten Hag was doing it, you're like, we're getting lucky, but we were happy to do it. I think when it's Liverpool, and I think this is where you have to separate the arguments, is when you watch Liverpool, it's game in, game out. They play the same. It's just like you're destroying teams game in and game out. Your defense is strong. You play the same. If you run into a situation where you lose a game playing the same way, it's such as life, right? So you can't say that Liverpool is more susceptible to dropping points because of them getting lucky. I look at their run-in and I'm like, they could win a lot of their games. They're not going to win all of them, but they can win most of them. I just hear you because listen, I'm rooting for you, but I think you got to be careful with saying the run-ins, you have a hard run-in, man. Like Arsenal have a very tough run-in, bro.
Before you go, because I've been waiting to speak on this, because I've been listening to what you've said, Igal, and I wanna make something clear to you so you can understand it from my point of view, in terms of my logic of looking at these teams. And when I say it, because you do listen to me, when I say it, you'll understand it, and you'll understand the point you're making is irrelevant. So you're saying that Liverpool are the worst of three teams of being better than the rest of the Premier League. You're failing to factor in that Liverpool don't have to play the other two teams now between the end of the season. So if you're basically telling me, is Liverpool better than the rest of the teams that they're going to play this season? They are. So whether or not they win as well as you, it's irrelevant to the context of what they need to do to win the league.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's my point. You're missing the point.
Vader, you're coming back.
It doesn't matter if they're
let
not.
Let me reiterate my words in a way that will make more sense to what you just said.
Bro, you said that.
I'm talking about their consistency in their performances.
Right, bro, it doesn't
I'm talking
matter
about their consistency in their performances. I see they are more susceptible to conceding chances than both of us. They are more susceptible to having stinkers.
Are Liverpool going into most of the game? No, but are Liverpool going into the games between now and also a big factor that you're negating is Arsenal's team has been purpose built. Yeah, Arsenal and Arteta put your squad together with a versatility in players and this and that. Liverpool have had big injuries to their starting 11. Big injuries to a point where they were playing under 18 players in key games and stuff like that. Don't forget, this was just a month ago. So Liverpool have stuck in there. This is a terrible result for Liverpool today. Let's not get it twisted. But Liverpool, in the general scheme of what they've been doing, have stuck in there without Trent, without Alisson, without Jota. Big players, Salah was injured for a big spell. Robertson as well. So all I'm saying to you, Igal, is they may not have been as impressive to this point as you. But from now until the end of the season, they don't need to be as impressive as you. They just need to be better than the remaining, the bottom 17 teams in the Premier League that they are already better than. The fact that you might beat teams better than Liverpool.
Igal, Jake, I want to ask something. I want to ask something to Igal, because he's saying that is more or less done for us, even though we're on the same amount of points. What are you so confident in the fact that you lot won't drop points, especially with the team that is sat below, the guy's team that is below mine?
Also, can I give another stat?
Because we don't make defense. 1 second. We don't make as many.
You have won one time. Once in 17 years, and it was during COVID at OT, and I think you've won once at White Hart Lane or wherever their ground is called now in about 10 years. So following what you just said, why are you so confident you're going to beat both of us?
First of all, I'm more confident in my defense and the fact that my defense can lock down any team in this league. I've seen us go up against majority of these teams this season, and the way we defend, you guys cannot.
But the way we score goals,
one thing I hate is we've turned the Liverpool section into an Arsenal section. I simply brought up the fact that Liverpool dropping points today it no longer puts it in their hands. Liverpool,
but that doesn't mean we're out of the title.
The reason why Liverpool needed it in there. The reason why Liverpool needed it in their hands was, one, because I don't think they're going to overtake us in goal difference. 2, right now their attack is stinking it up. 3, with Alisson missing and Konate also being injured. Was he injured today, or was he just not playing?
Nah, he was on the
bench. Actually, look, let me stop you there, because I want to join in because I agree with you. I want to dunk on the attack of Liverpool. I want to dunk on that for a little bit, because
there's so many flaws with this Liverpool team.
The Liverpool attack right now, unless Salah is at his pomp killing it, I'm sorry, I see nowhere where you're going to get goals consistently other than, that's it. I look at it and I'm like, Darwin Núñez we're into year 3 now with him, right? Or is it year 2? What is it? Help me out here. Year 2. Feels like year 3, but it's year 2, where he just consistently, for whatever reason, can't finish easy chances. Like, simple ones. I've seen him score some cool goals, some good ones, but like he had some opportunities today where I was like,
I'd argue in terms of, I don't think he had any easy chances today. The chance that he should have done better with was to sweaty back to Szoboszlai, which he should.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
I think the rest of them won really.
So the decision making is another thing he's not great at. When you look at your attacking midfield, realistically, Szoboszlai again, I can't dunk on him at the same way because I think a lot of his shots were just great saves.
So can I just
Trent, Alisson, and Jota are back this week.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, Trent and Jota and Alisson are back in training.
Just to quickly say what you just.
I love the fact that you guys turned the Liverpool section.
Let me just say though, the one thing I will say is though, I don't think Darwin Núñez is good. I haven't really enjoyed watching whatever. But you said Szoboszlai, you don't really want to get onto him today because he wasn't in the attack. He did miss a chance that I think I can remember when Núñez did pass it to him. Is that correct, Ram?
No, I know what you talk about. Is the one Robertson passed to him.
Okay, sorry, is that one? So if he did scored that one, maybe the game would have been different. But sorry, carry on. Sorry.
No, yeah. So I mean, but even still, that goes back to the point of like a lot of their attack is a bit toothless at the moment, and that is where I will agree with you, Agal. When this is where I will now agree with you when you say when you look at the rest of the teams, when you look at City. They've got the monster up front, Haaland. I don't care if he has a bad stretch here or there. You've got Haaland. You've got Foden with his hat tricks here and there. You got KDB. You got a lot. Like Grealish is dead somewhere. I don't know where Grealish is, but you have options that score goals on that City team. You have a system that seems to still, work for getting goals. You have Arsenal, who I fucking hate watching Arsenal play. I'm not gonna lie. You guys pass the ball around the box so much. It's so annoying sometimes. I'm like, just shoot. But you score goals. You got lots of goal scorers in that team. You have for years. You have multiple goal scorers across the front. That is like what you've been bragging about for years, and you're seeing it now with the Sakas, with the Odegaards can score here and there. You got Trossard coming on. Fucking Kai Havertz is going to cost me money. You got lots of people who can score goals in that Arsenal team. And
why is Kai Havertz going to cost you money?
Because I bet Jess $100 that his GA would be less than Xhaka's this year. And
he's already passed it.
He's not. He's one GA away from it.
Oh, he's literally even. Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, I got to send her 100 USD at some point.
What happened today? Oh shit.
So my point is like you're right. Out of all the teams left, I think Liverpool has the most questions when it comes to they concede the most goals and they don't score the most. But then you have to be balanced and look at the run-ins. That's how I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Let Ram say his piece, but before Ram goes, afterwards we're gonna talk about Kobbie, Mainoo, and Manchester United a little bit more. I felt like we spent so much time on Liverpool.
Yeah.
Ram, give me your take, and also we got Rayan in the chat. Big up Rayan, your arch nemesis. He says this league is Arsenal's. I can't see them dropping any points. Will also drop points against Everton and United, and Everton will roll. And Everton will roll over for Arsenal. That is true. Obviously, those two teams are going to want to stop you from winning the league. Although we do also play Tottenham. Egal, I agree that we ain't winning the league now. The issues are giving complete wrong reasons. If you rule us out, you are ruling out City. I'm not ruling out City because I think City is the bigger threat. The reality is Liverpool was top of the league and people were taking you serious, but I always looked at City as the bigger threat. And Vader, you can vouch for that. I've always said
I'm the same. I never saw you as the bigger threat. I saw City as the bigger threat because they've done it. Because look, someone said this. Someone said this. No, it's not naive because I know what City are about with Arsenal.
Have City beaten you 3-1 this season?
We also beat you this season as well. You lost against Fulham. You lost against Fulham as well.
Okay.
So let's not do this.
Why are you so confident, Igal? You know you got
in the FA Cup. One second. In the FA Cup, did you win it?
Why are you going to win the title?
You beat us in a game that was pointless.
Are you gonna win the title? No, you're gonna go of 3-1.
No.
But
listen, I am confident in my team.
So explain how you lost. So explain how you lost to Fulham then.
What?
Explain how you didn't beat Fulham this season.
Once again, have you seen us since the Fulham game?
I don't know. Explain how you lost against Fulham.
Bro, why are we going back to December or January? Why don't we
Well,
talk about
I could
right
go
now?
back to the start of the season.
Why don't we talk about right now? Did you see your performance today? You were absolutely woeful in front of the
Arsenal are so great.
You were absolutely woeful.
You know what? Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love? Igal loves to use logic for other people, but doesn't want to apply it to his own team. Like he says that we can't win. We're out of the title race because they're going to drop points. But he's so confident that they're not going to drop points themselves.
Arsenal are so great and Liverpool are so bad. Yet I looked at the league table in Arrow and they're level on points. I don't really get it. I thought they were behind you.
I think Igal.
I think you're being very naive.
Running. One second, guys.
You're being very naive.
I'm going to make it clear. This is something that is a prediction. We can only tell in time. But my prediction is this is the turning point in Liverpool season. You now are going to start to see them decline, and you're going to see the two real title challengers in City and Arsenal separate themselves from
Liverpool. That is dumb. That is a dumb statement. Do you know why?
Igal,
because
you know
before, and we still came back. I'm just saying.
Okay, you thought we were out of it after we lost to Fulham.
We were out of it after Tottenham, mate. So I really don't know where you want to start.
You said this season was a flash in the
pan. You said it was a false position where we are, but yet here we are, game week 30, and guess what? We're still here.
And guess what? I gave you guys credit. You guys have been doing it off of.
And what have I been doing again?
You guys have been doing it this season off of sheer emotion. And now
you're not giving us credit. Then you're not giving us credit. Hey, Veta, I'm gonna ask you this, Veta, because we've been on a couple of streams. Even though I hate these man so much, I still give these guys credit because they get it done. It's Gid. I tell them about Gid. They get it done. I tell them all the time, and it's a big credit that they get it done. But why is it when Igal says this, there's always got to be a caveat for everything? Why can't you just give us some? I want to say you don't even need credit, but why can't you just say no? I got it wrong. I thought these guys were saying it's a false position. No, they are where they are. They are fighting for this league title. Explain to me why he doesn't want to do that.
I'll try and explain it. Hopefully my audio is good and nothing's messing up here. But there's a lot of mental. I'm not even going to say gymnastics, but there's a lot of mental hurdles that Arsenal fans, and we will refer to Igal right now because he's representing them. They're overcoming a lot of the things that have like traumatized them in past years. They're overcoming a lot of things that have been labeled of their club and manager. So when he wants to apply the logic that makes more sense versus rivals than himself, is because there's still a lot of propping up that needs to happen. There's still a lot of, you know what? There's no proof. I gotta have hope. I gotta have faith. I gotta believe in something, even though there's no proof there. So that's why he speaks the way he speaks, because this is the same man that had this level of chest last year. So you gotta understand it really doesn't matter what the facts are. He's gonna have chest for his club, and he's gonna speak this way of rivals. So don't get triggered, man. We've seen Igal do this. Now, this is gonna be the most important part of the season. We say this is the business end, but Arsenal fans, don't get triggered. The reason why there's still a lot of doubt about you guys, as great as you've been playing, is because it's this time. Every time under Arteta, it's this time when you guys crumble. So that's why we're all a little bit like, let's wait and see. Igal, you know this. 8th, 5th. And that year you went 5th. You were supposed to finish 4th. You crumbled at this same time in the season. So that's why a lot of us are like, yo, relax. But he's got to prop the team up.
Veta, guess who they're playing at the same time that they ended up finishing 5th? Jay's team.
By the way, can you not improve? Did we not improve every time? For example, you guys keep doing this thing where you deflect and you keep going back to.
Sorry, I've been waiting a while to speak because obviously I've been
honestly. I don't know if we're even gonna get to United section.
No, well, listen, Igal, you gotta understand the point is that you make a lot of straw man arguments. Yeah, you create an argument or a narrative that doesn't actually, it isn't the wider discourse, and then you defend against it. Just now, you started by saying that how much better Arsenal are than Liverpool, and Liverpool are the third best of these teams. And I tried to tell you that it's irrelevant that they're the third best of these teams because they're going to play 17 games home and away against teams that are not these teams. And it's their results against those teams that's the most important. So you have a lot of points and you've done a great job. I would say pound for pound, I would argue that you are the best team in the league. I think the most complete team, maybe not the best, but the most complete team. yeah, in the league potentially so far I've seen this season. But facts do not care about your feelings, Sigal. If at the end of the season you do not accumulate the most amount of points, yeah, all of this narrative that we're pushing is irrelevant. You are not so much better than Liverpool that you can guarantee over the next X number of games that you're going to outpoint them, because the variables are the teams that you are playing, not Liverpool's overall ability.
Bad habits breed bad results. Liverpool have bad habits. Liverpool have defensive issues, and they, at this moment in time, their attack, which is supposed to be their most potent part of their game, is dwindling. This is why I'm criticizing them.
Yeah, I can ask you why. I can ask you why. Why? You know what you've just said. Why do you think that's the case?
Because of injuries. One.
Okay, and are those injuries going to be coming back soon?
Yes.
Next week, they're back in training.
Well, there you go.
Right? That's one. Number two, you just see teams have been able to get at them a little bit more. They've always played a more taxing style of football. Their style of football has always been a little bit more chaotic. It's not as controlled as a City or an Arsenal.
But control
gets the job done.
Because you control games.
If it gets the job done, you would have won more league titles.
If you control the game,
am I wrong?
What are you on about?
No. If it really gets the job done, you would have won more league titles.
In the season, it has got the job done because we're still.
I think it's very harsh, Igal, compared.
No, it's not. It's not. It's the actual hard truth.
Oh, so you're saying that you would be beating peak City with this team? Your team.
No, I'm saying we've been able to do more.
What's your point then? If you're saying the best Arsenal side for 20 years is not beating peak City, why are you critiquing Liverpool for not having more titles?
No, because they always speak about how they've been going at City, and the harsh reality is.
No, I've been saying that this entire season we've been getting it done.
If maybe
you're the one that brought it up.
What was it that he said before I said that? Because there was something he specifically said.
He said no one says Arsenal aren't great. Most people want to give you a flower.
Okay, so my point was, if it's getting the job done, go on and win the league then. And if it's really getting the job done, why didn't it get you the job done when you had better teams and you couldn't win the league with them consistently? You only won one league title under Klopp. If Arteta matches Klopp's number of league titles, you're gonna have to look at Klopp differently.
No, I'll be looking at Klopp differently if our next manager wins more trophies than him. Which I'll probably change the narrative, being like Klopp started it, he's on top of it. So I'm just saying.
Ram, we've gone too much on just Liverpool in the league. You give us your take on the game, and then we're going to come back to Man United and go full circle, talk about City and everybody else.
Well, I said pretty much most of what I said on the terrace. But like I said, where do we start? We gave Man United life this game. We gave them a lot of life. First half, we should have taken a couple more chances that we had. Having an XG of around about 2 and not converting minimum 2 goals is kind of woeful at the same time. I have to look at certain players. Obviously, Mo Salah is going to be one because he is our best player. People say Nunez, people like that. I'm like, look at your top players and put more criticism on them because they are the kind of players that need to step up. And Salah, some of the chances he had, the passing was poor. And look, the penalty will creep over the cracks of what he's done because today he's been poor. Only player that played well today really was maybe McAllister. McAllister again, another solid performance, staking a claim of why I think he's player of the season, in my opinion. I'm sorry, he's not player of the season, signing of the season. And what I can say is that the attackers that we have, we desperately need Jota back because those chances that Jota had, he would bury them like Cam. I said this on the terrace. It's no coincidence. The last 2 games Jota started, we put 4 past United and put 5 past United. That's the influence that he has on the pitch. And he didn't get.
The thing is, when you bring up Jota, though, it's kind of like that's like me talking about like Luke Shaw being healthy. You know what I mean? There's just certain.
Yeah, I get that.
I get
it, but it's just this one's a bit different. This one's a bit different because it's an impact injury. It happened on impact. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it.
I get
it's
that,
not like a muscular injury. You know what I mean?
It's just he's always hurt. There's certain guys where it's like I'm tired of hearing about if they were healthy. We have a lot of them too, right? So I for one, like when people were like, "Oh, Varane got hurt," I'm like, water's wet.
You're kind of used to it, yeah.
It's used to it. Like even Martinez now, it's like, oh well, if we had Martinez,
but Jordan, can I be clear? I saw your team almost full strength versus Wolves first game. This is why I don't give United any respect, because I saw you versus Wolves. And
yeah,
Wolves,
that was the first.
And Wolves whooped you disgracefully. Yeah,
but that was literally the first game of the season.
That's why I'm just like, United are terrible, and that's why I'm not.
No, but bro, you also
first game of the season, you should have been up for it. They battered you.
You also seen a City team first game of the season like have a bad start against many teams and go on to win leagues.
First game of the season, like or that early, I wouldn't say anything.
Early in the season, sometimes you can get unwarranted random results.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
it's fair. It's unfair to judge a fully
Wolves beat City. Like they're not they show up sometimes.
Wolves are a decent side. I'm just merely saying that the narrative that United would have been so much. I think United would have been better with the injuries, but what I'm seeing from United, that's not fixed by the players that they've got.
Let me just ask you guys a quick question though. Was it a penalty? Because I didn't think it was a penalty.
It wasn't. Once you look back on it, it wasn't.
Vader, you nodded your head. What'd you say? Was it a penalty?
Harvey Elliott.
Yeah,
I thought it was a soft.
It was a penalty.
I thought it was a very soft.
The thing is, the thing about it though, which is why I'm fine with it sticking. The reason why I didn't bring it up, and the reason I'm not on it is like, you know better in Wan-Bissaka. Like if you are going to go down the box, and he does all the time, and like I can't get mad because he gets the ball most of the time. If you are going to go down, you have to be absolutely 100%, million% sure you're going to leave no doubt in the referee's mind that they don't have to give a penalty. And in that situation, from the angle he had, he didn't get the ball. He didn't, but he didn't get anything. So at that point, Harvey Elliott just has to do what he did, drag his foot, and it seemed like he took him down. It's by the letter of the law, it'll be a hard one to argue to say like, well, there was contact because he dragged his foot. Was he diving? Sure. But that's the whole point. We get mad at players sometimes when they dive. We get mad at them when they don't. Harvey Elliott did the right thing, in my opinion. I wasn't able to say this on Twitter, but he did the right thing by going down because Aaron Wan-Bissaka was reckless. Was it a pen if you actually looked at all the angles and you went back to VAR? No, it wasn't. Let's be honest.
I think it was a pen because Elliott was so clever. Because the way Elliott put his foot down was brilliant. Because if he drags it too much, the VAR picks it up that he's dragged his foot. Do you see what I mean? So he has to actually quite delicately place his leg down in a position. Because if you look at where he shifts the ball, where he puts his leg down is the intention of no man who has no intention of going after that ball. He has no reason. Like he has no look at where he shifted the ball. Why is his right leg there if he shifted the ball there? Like he's
trying to get the penalty for sure.
But what I'm saying is the way he did it is why it's a penalty. Had he dragged his foot or exaggerated it?
He's been in the same school.
No.
It's good.
Look, I'm more happy the fact that I hate it when players go and slide in the box. I think you're asking for trouble. You're asking to get a penalty. You're asking to concede a penalty.
He wasn't even trying to play the ball. He just moved it out of his way so he can win the penalty.
See, my thing is...
I wouldn't say that. You usually, as a footballer, you want to try and keep the ball away from the player.
My thing is...
but the thing is what people are not understanding about this movement, just so you can be clear on this, is that Wan-Bissaka, where Wan-Bissaka goes for the ball, it's logical. Because where Elliott moves the ball and his body, he's moved the ball to a place where the ball shouldn't be if that's where his body is as a dribbler. Does that make sense? As in, Elliott's just a good dribbler. That's where the ball should be. But he flicks the ball just a little bit away and then he stays in the same place.
You want to know something?
Why are you slide tackling?
If this is a dive, if you guys
he does it all the time. That's who he is.
If you guys want to call this a dive, this is the most thought out dive I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. It's a brilliant.
Well, no, it's not. Listen, it's not a. He just listen. It wasn't a. He dragged his foot. He felt the contact. He went down.
There's no contact there.
If you watch the replay, there's contact.
There's contact at the end that he initiates. He initiates it. Long story short, the fact that we're deliberating like this and we have still images and videos, I get why the referee decided to.
Think of it like a log.
It's a plain rule.
Fall over a log.
Honestly, if it happened against me, I would want the penalty.
Yeah,
if it happened against my other team, I could actually justify why it wasn't a penalty. So it's one of those ones where either one.
For me,
I get why it's a decision. It's a tough decision. I'm happy I don't get paid to make these decisions.
I think Robertson did a similar thing a couple of seasons ago, and the first thing I said on the terrace afterwards was, "You're an absolute idiot for sliding in like that in the box." Yeah. I have more vim for defenders doing stupid stuff like that when Harvey Elliott wasn't going anywhere. He weren't going anywhere. He was actually going to run straight into Sofian Amrabat. So
I kind of lost track of time. I want to get to City before Vader has to leave also, and the boys wanted to say something on Kobbie Mainoo before we go. Do you guys think Kobbie Mainoo is generational? Because off the back of what he did today, people are saying he's generational talent.
I'm kind of honest that we didn't.
Slow down.
I don't think he's generational. I just think he's a very, very top class or very, very good young player. But we use the generational phrase too easily.
Generational is Bellingham.
He's like once in a lifetime. We're talking about Mbappe again, Rooney, Messi. He's not that. He's just maybe a little bit below that. So we need to hold off a little bit. Otherwise,
he's world class potential. He's world class potential because that's what he is. Like he's not generational talent means that he would be. I think you used it perfectly. Like he'd be doing what Jude Bellingham's doing right now. He would be doing what we saw Mbappe do, where he dragged Monaco to a Champions League final. He would be doing what we saw Haaland do, where it's kind of like he's scoring a million goals at so generational talent.
Generational. Sorry, Cam. I'm just going to quickly say because it pops in my head. He would be classed as generational if United were fighting for a league title and he was doing this.
So exactly, he would be. That's a perfect way. If we were in a league title, if we won the FA Cup, and then it's like this guy's the one who came in to do it. Generational talent, right? Because that would be.
You guys would say Saliba's generational, Foden's generational.
Foden's generational, in my opinion. But the problem with Foden being generational, the problem is he's on City's team, which means he doesn't get to show it nearly as much as other teams would have allowed because the way Pep develops players. But when you watch Foden play and you see what he does when he gets the opportunities, I mean, he was the second best player on the team. He's easily the second, or not the second best player behind KDB. I think he's more technically gifted than a Haaland is. It's just Haaland's a generational striker because he just scores without issue. Yeah. I think Saliba, if Saliba ends up winning a league title this year with you, then yes, because we saw what happened to you last year when he went down. And that's what all Arsenal players say. All Arsenal fans say. They're like, we lost the league, but that's why we lost the league. That's a fair statement this year. Because if you go on to win the league, the only thing that's really different is, I mean, other than some of the other moves, but let's be serious about what's really different is that Saliba stayed healthy. So if he stays healthy, you're like, cool, that's our generational talent.
They lost Xhaka as well. And the Xhaka thing is something I was thinking about.
Yeah, but they replaced him with Rice and they replaced him with.
We don't miss Xhaka anymore.
You don't miss Xhaka.
One sec. Point. You know what? Doesn't even fucking.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead. Jay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, man.
Oh my! I'm not getting mad. I just want to make a fucking point and move on, man. I'm just saying, losing Xhaka affected Martinelli because Martinelli had a guy that could play make on his side. Yeah, and because he hasn't had that this season, that's impacted his numbers. So Arsenal have changed the way they've played. They've changed different facets. But obviously, you're saying the only difference, they've rebuilt the team after losing Xhaka in a more robust way. But Jorginho coming into the side is what's helped stabilize the team because the team Arsenal had was not as stable pre-Jorginho coming back into the side than it is now. So it still took them 4 or 5 months to work out a couple of different ways to play in a way that was as effective. So that's why I push back on the fact that there's not that much difference between Arsenal this season and last season. They're way more structurally solid this season, way more difficult to play through. Right?
You guys want to talk about Arsenal right now? Because I was going to actually talk about.
I was going to quickly just say something on what you said about Saliba. Yeah. I would try and stay away for generational talent, especially when it comes to defenders, because defenders are a little bit more trickier to understand. Because defenders, you have to be of a certain ilk and of a certain IQ to be a generational defender. Because people call De Ligt generational, and look what's happened to him now.
You want to know something?
Yeah, I mean, the only way I'd say, the only person that I would say is generational defender. You have to go back to the 90s when like best players like that, big boy players. Not it's very difficult.
I think so. No, but the thing is, to be fair to Saliba,
let's not get too caught up on the Saliba point. I was just making a point trying to.
But anyway, to answer your question, Mainoo is not a generational talent, but he's fantastic and he's ours. And I love people saying, "Oh, he's going to leave." When's the last time any homegrown United players left like that? Like the good homegrown United players.
Angel Gomez, who you guys let them leave.
No, I mean like good ones. Like Rashford's not going to go anywhere. We're not going to see Garnacho go anywhere anytime soon.
You say this all the time. Don't worry about it. You guys got yourself a good one. Quickly, everyone in the chat, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. And if you're watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. You miss out on this amazing content on a regular basis. Now, there's a big story coming out from Manchester City. You won 4-2. No one's debating that you guys should have won that game. What people are now debating is Kevin De Bruyne's GOAT status. People are now putting Kevin De Bruyne amongst the Premier League GOATs when it comes to center midfielders. They're saying he is the best midfielder in the Premier League. And this is the discussion. They're saying he's the best midfielder in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So now,
ever though?
Yeah. Yes. And this is off the back of him getting 100 goals. Him having 5 league titles? Is it 5 or 4?
Who's stopping KDB taking? He's definitely the bro. Don't bring Paul Scholes. We're having an adult conversation.
Just so I know, you're on the stance of KDB is the GOAT. Vader,
KDB is definitely the GOAT, man. He was the best player for the best team in Premier League history. Like, what are we doing? Like, even if you don't think he's the GOAT, right? People will then say Gerrard. Well, you can't put Gerrard against KDB.
They're not the best. They're not the best in Premier League history, by the way.
You're gonna start saying names like Vieira and stuff. I'm like, okay. I watched Vieira. I've watched KDB. KDB is, if not more dominant than Vieira was at his role in what KDB does. He's been the best player for the best team. I don't see how. I think you can make an argument for someone like a Fabregas from an aesthetic point of view, but even Fabregas doesn't have the CV to challenge KDB. Nobody has the CV.
Let me hear from Vader quickly. Vader, is Kevin De Bruyne the Premier League GOAT in your opinion?
He's just gone off.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
Tell me, if you guys are going to say, if not KDB, then who?
I try when it comes to midfielders, I try not to get into the debate because there's actually quite a lot of names that are involved that are quite close to each other. So, for example, Paul Scholes is there. In my opinion, Gerrard is there. KDB can be arguably in there. You can have Patrick Vieira. So I try not to get into that debate. What I will say, though, is KDB is up there. I think we can't keep... I think because he plays...
Is he in your best 11?
No. That's the funniest thing, he's not. My best 11, personally, you're going to hate me for this. There's no DMs. It's Patrick Vieira, Gerrard, and Scholes.
You can technically play Vieira as the DM.
Yeah.
But what people are saying here is that not unfair on KDB? And what about Rodri? How much does Rodri need to do?
We're going to talk about that in a second. Let me
speak on KDB.
Let me just say quickly. The thing is people need to understand feeling and how players make you feel also plays into the debate on who's the best. For example, I'm a Man United fan. I hate Liverpool. But when I was a kid, growing up watching Gerrard, it was like watching Superman. So it was very hard for me to not put him in. Scholes, in my opinion, is the most technical player of all these guys. So he's done so much in this league. So he has to be in there. Patrick Vieira, I don't agree with the dominant take that Jay just said. So I think Patrick Vieira was also as dominant as KDB was back then, as KDB is now. That's my opinion.
Listen. This is difficult to do, right? Because we're talking about players of different time frames, and not all of those players played against each other at the moment. KDB is obviously playing solo. There's no contemporary player to really stack him up against, right? So he's clearly the best midfielder in the league presently, and he's been that one for a long time now. But I'm gonna point out, if we're gonna go through the entire list, and the only reason as a City fan that I'm having a difficult time putting him number one is the same reason I have a difficult time putting Pep number 1 is longevity. Sir Alex Ferguson had that in the league, and he stacked things up. Scholes had that in the league, and he stacked things up. KDB hasn't played that long in this league.
How many years is KDB? How many years though KDB been there though? There.
KDB's been here since 2016.
2015.
2015. So, and he stacked up 5 prems. Scholes had a ridiculous career. So I'm having the conversation, but I'm not putting him number 1 yet. It is clear though that the best midfielder resides in Manchester.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like when I hear you, Vader, but the fact that this dude, you keep telling me like to disregard Scholes, like Scholes, what?
Bro, Scholes can't touch.
I'm not disregarding him. Talk to this guy. I'm not disregarding him. I'm saying
when was Scholes ever the best player at Man United? Like which season? Tell me specifically which season Scholes was.
Why does he have to be the best player? Doesn't he need to be the best?
I'm just saying, if you were never ever the best player at your team, I've got an issue with you being the greatest of all time if you were never the best player in your team.
They can answer your question. You do realize that he was playing like KDB in the best team in the country, but the difference between KDB and Scholes is Scholes was playing with players who are arguably the best players in the world. KDB is, I'm talking about number 1, by the way, because we had Ronaldo, we can say Rooney. That was KDB. So I don't see what the point is.
No, but you lose. No, because I can see KDB, and I can clearly say KDB is better than David Silva. KDB is better than Yaya Toure. To me, both of those players are excellent, but it's not close to me in Premier League GOAT debates. KDB is clear of these men. Not to say that these two men are not exceptional Premier League players. It's just, to me, it's very clear. So when I'm talking about Scholes, I'm not disregarding Scholes being an excellent midfielder, but there's no way Scholes can be. You can look at KDB, Premier League Player of the Season multiple times. KDB, Ballon d'Or, top 3. Numerous times.
He's never won Player of the Month, though, Jay. He's never won Player of the Month.
Well, that's my point. As in the accolades, his peers, KDB's peers, have numerously said this is the guy of his generation. It's like Roman Reigns versus John Cena or something. I know Roman Reigns is better than John Cena. I know that. I don't need you to tell me, oh, what about this or what? Roman Reigns is better. It's the same as KDB. KDB is better. Like, he is ruthlessly efficient. What he's done.
It's a conversation between him and Scholes, hands down. I don't want to hear no disrespect to all of you on the panels. I don't want to hear about Patrick Vieira. I don't want to hear about Lampard. I don't want to hear about Gerrard. That is done. Those guys are behind. It's now a decision between Manchester, Scholes or KDB. That's it.
Do you put Scholes above Cesc? Because I'm not sure I would want to put Scholes above Cesc, but I think I would. I'd be guided by this debate, but I think Cesc would rank quite highly. But KDB to me is very, like, he can do everything that Lampard could do. That's why I disregard. That's why I disregard Lampard for KDB, because everything Lampard could do, KDB can do. So forget him. Do you know what I mean? Like, Gerrard's got some defensive stuff on KDB, but KDB's ruthless attacking efficiency and ability to produce G&A is better than Gerrard's best season of output is like a normal season for KDB of output. Do you see what I mean?
Whoa. That's no. I don't think De Bruyne has ever reached Gerrard's like ultimate output. Bearing in mind, Gerrard played under Rafa Benitez, and compare that to Pep Guardiola. Their styles of football does not cater to.
In 1920, KDB had 33 GA in just the Premier League. So,
that was his best season, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But last season, KDB had 23 GA.
Wait, Jay, can I ask you a question? Are you looking at all of this, and because it seems like, are you looking at this from a GA and statistical standpoint? Because again, they are all different types of players. So when you're talking about KDB versus Scholes, KDB is going to win in GA and stats. When you're talking about offensive stats, by the way,
But I'm talking about stuff like 30-yard screamers. I'm talking about
Who has that?
no, I'm talking about
Scholes has got
Either foot.
no.
KDB,
What do you mean? Scholes has a couple, bro. KDB has so many screamers.
I remember Barca. I remember Barca 08 very vividly.
Aston Villa away.
Oh my God, Aston Villa. The reason you guys remember this so much is because there were so few.
What do you mean so few? I can remember Fulham.
Are we judging players on aesthetics? Are we judging players on goals? Are we actually doing both?
I'm judging KDB, the playmaker, on goals and assists, because that's what his job was. His job was to create goals and assists, and he's been very good at his job the entirety of his career. From day dot when he came to the Premier League at City, he's been on job. Yeah, he's been excellent at what he's doing. That's why I talk about DNA with De Bruyne, because I'm saying as an elite, when you talk about Messi and he scores 100 something, elite players produce elite numbers consistently because they are just amazing.
He is. I don't think while he's still a City player that the conversation is going to happen. If he was an Arsenal player, a Liverpool player, one of the bigger clubs, I think there would be more media hype around KDB, putting him in these conversations. The reason why he deserves to be amongst the conversations is because of his sheer numbers of trophies plus his statistics. But I think he will need to be out of the game for a little bit before people actually put him in that conversation consistently. At this moment in time, nostalgia is going to still have a lot of people putting other players like Frank Lampard ahead of him. I don't think Frank Lampard should be
100%. And there's also we also see, and it's happened a lot with regards to my club, as much as we're growing and we're having our success, there is winning fatigue, right? There's a lot of we've seen City, we've seen KDB. What fatigue?
Voter fatigue. They stopped voting for certain people for awards also.
Yeah, because they've seen them so often. It's been so systematic in terms of, or so consistent with the winning. But yeah, man, I agree. When his career is kind of like said and done, and those highlight reels and those together treble documentaries are like circulating around and everybody's seeing what City's been doing, like, yeah, that myth then grows. So yeah, we'll have to give it some time.
All right. But he's in do you guys have to jump out? Because I was just going to talk about Arsenal quickly. If you guys want to say anything on Arsenal. Because
the only thing I will say about Arsenal is it's your league to lose now, realistically. But the tough part about it is you have a very difficult schedule, and if you do win the league, I mean, no one can really say shit if you win the league, no matter what. But like fair play, right? And at the end of the day, I think there'll be you'll at least be able to say what I was saying earlier is that, hey, the reason we weren't able to do it last year was obviously the experience, losing Saliba or whatnot. I think if Arsenal wins the league this year, it'll at least jumpstart the Prem to have some parity. Because I believe they'll end up winning it like back to back to back. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's now we're going to see multiple teams competing year in, year out, where Arsenal will be one of those teams consistently for a long time. And all the Arteta inners, if you guys win the league, you should talk all the shit. Like,
you want to know something? At this point, we've gotten so past the Arteta in-out stuff.
No, but I'm just saying, I get it.
Liga was on stream with me the other day. He's basically saying, "I'll gladly be at the what do you call it, at the parade singing Arteta's name. Like, I don't care."
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, like, it's crazy. It's really strong validation. And at the end of the day, it shows. Shit, my dog's freaking out.
Your dog scared me last time, remember?
Yeah, he did. I think at the end of the day with Arsenal, it'll also show to a lot of teams out there that when you bring in a new manager, patience is probably the most important thing. Because
that hurts.
It's the truth, though, right? It's just like patience is probably the most important thing to build if the manager's philosophy is being seen and if you're seeing what he's doing and it's making sense.
Let me just say this. I did say a couple months ago, remember I said Arteta, if he wins the league, he will be a case study and an example for managers going forward. They're always going to constantly go back to giving.
Yeah, but you got it. But the thing is, he stuck to his guns from when he got in. He said, "I'm going to play this way. I don't care if we lose. I don't care if it leads."
You want to say that?
So for me,
sorry. I just wanted to say, why is again, this is why I personally beef Arsenal fans all the time. I'm an unbiased fan. I'll say it as it is, even if it's shitting on my club, whatever, but it's not. Why is Arteta a blueprint for success or whatever, from starting from the bottom to the top, but not Klopp? Remember, Liverpool went 30 years, no league title. They got to a Champions League final. They lost it. They got to the next one. They won. They then won the league after.
I think you missed my point. My point was managers being given time.
Yeah, Klopp got given time, no?
No, Klopp was never.
But you mean
Klopp never was teetering on getting sacked.
Yeah, there was never
like disaster start. You're saying give time to a new manager with disaster start.
Oh, okay, that's
disaster.
Yeah,
Klopp didn't have a disaster start.
The man literally was one of the first people to get COVID.
Yeah, but the only thing I will say,
shut down the league because of
it's very dangerous precedent.
We dealt with the man dealt. No, take this in. The man dealt with a pandemic. He freaking the man dealt with freaking a team that was going through turmoil, ownership change, the whole back room change. He had a freaking scandal where one of our guys was stealing money from the club, allegedly. There was so much crazy stuff going on.
Stealing money from the club?
Yeah, Don Raul.
Man.
Anyways, let's get back into it, guys.
Ralstonelli, that's his name.
Were you guys impressed? Were you guys impressed, especially Jay and Vader? Because you guys were like, Brighton's a banana skin. You got to be worried, and then we go and do what we did.
No, I said, well, the game played out somewhat closely to what I thought it would play out to. Like, as in, Brighton could get through your press. I think I remember saying Brighton could get through your press. They'd play through, but would they make stupid mistakes at the back? And they made stupid mistakes at the back. First, I went back and forth on the penalty, but it's a penalty. The reason why I say it's a penalty is because when I actually analysed it, I thought when Jesus shifts the ball, the touch that Lamptey gets on the ball, it doesn't move where the ball goes. The ball's still in a position that if he doesn't then take out Jesus would be running onto it. Like the ball would have just bounced up. He would have still had possession of the ball. So that's why that was an actual penalty for me. And then obviously on the second goal, they give the ball away. They don't track their runner. Nice play by Jorginho. Good goal. Game over.
Fair enough. Let me go to Vader quickly because I know he has to go. And I was on several shows with you over the last couple of weeks, Vader. Were you not impressed?
Was I impressed with your performance versus Brighton? I mean, I thought it was business as usual. I mean, there's a lot of talk about how it would be a difficult game, and rightfully so because Brighton's have a very good record at home. But I mean, many know that they're not at their full strength, and I think your approach has been consistent. Your approach is to defend first, and then even with a team like Brighton to go and look to get a counter to take advantage of your attack. So no, the game was calm. I think I predicted a 3-1 or a 2-1. It was always for Arsenal to win, and I don't think that this is the game where I'm like refreshing my app and seeing what the score is. I'm paying very close attention to Arsenal this upcoming week. I want to see how you play in Champions League. I want to see who Arteta decides on who that 11. What's that 11? Is it consistent with what's been happening the last two games? And I want to see what he does after Champions League. I want to see what he does in the league. This is where I think there's the potential for drop points, not losses, but drop points. And then we see how we move coming out of Champions League and move forward. But nah, Arsenal were always to win this game, guys. You know this.
I'll see you in the next round.
You'll see me in the next round of
Champions League.
Wait,
all right, let's deal with it. Let's talk after the first leg.
Will Veta get there? That's the question.
I'm facing Real Madrid. I'm not that confident.
To be fair, Jude Bellingham is coming in there like Mrs. Marvel and the Avengers, acting like he's gonna change everything. I don't think Jude Bellingham changes too much.
I gotta respect Real Madrid. They've got 14.
I don't think Jude Bellingham changes the how City beat them last year.
What?
I love that we said
they've got 14 trophies. I'm going in there respectfully. I'm going to the Bernabeu first before playing them on the second leg at home.
See,
we'll talk after the first leg.
This is Veta. This is Veta. Yeah, he's not like a gal. He doesn't disrespect the opponent like that, especially when it comes to Real Madrid. He never disrespects.
I am not disrespecting anybody besides Thomas Muller. That guy's a something else. But hey,
no, he's not, man. He just likes to dunk on you. That's all.
Nah, he's chatting shit. He's trying to play the underdog gimmick.
Because you are going
injuries.
to beat them. They are shit. I don't like swearing, but they are. That's
all I know is they're
saving
saving Eric Dyer. And I think that's a good way, Vader. I'll catch you. I'll see you. I'll see you hopefully. And you know what? Next time we meet, we're gonna know how we actually are in the Champions League.
Yeah. I'm watching this first leg closely, man. We'll talk. Because that chest, it looks like you've been in the gym.
Would you still rather play Bayern?
I'd rather play Bayern, of course. I've told you this. For the glory of Champions League, for all the UCLs that they've won, if I have to go through Real Madrid and Bayern on my way to a final, the way you talk about me at camp,
to me, that sounds like you're afraid of facing Arsenal, though.
No. I'm thinking about the myth. I'm thinking about the stories afterwards. I'm thinking about all the songs that are chanted. They're not going to be making stories. No disrespect, but Arsenal have not won a UCL, so
Arsenal ain't
the
got
stories
no
that they'll
in the
tell
UCL.
about me won't be the same.
No offense, you ain't got no stories in the UCL. I'm sorry.
You know what? We have some sad stories. Fair enough. But big up Vader for jumping on. Now let's go to Spurs. Top 4 is wrapped up, bro.
Talk to me about that goal from Van der Ven. Apparently, it's a screamer.
Yeah, man. Just Van der Ven doing Van der Ven thing. I don't know why I'm saying Van der Ven things like he scores screamers every week. No, it's a good goal. It was quite light work actually. It's nice. So we're slowly becoming a team where we're just kind of chilling. We just win. We kind of play all right. Sometimes we only play for like 30 minutes of the 90 minutes, but it's enough to win like 2 or 3-1. And the fans are like, "Oh my God, why do we not have 90-minute domination?" And I'm just like, man, chill. I think we're on the balance. It looks like the 4th best team in the league this season.
Yeah, your favorites for top 4.
And I think for me it's interesting because we have a big part to play in where this title goes. When I was watching Brighton at the weekend, I was looking at it and I said, sometimes you just need to do it yourself. And that's how I look about the teams that have to play Arsenal. And I think, well, it might just be Spurs. Spurs might be the only team capable of hurting United in multiple ways. Having centre backs that can contain someone like Havertz, or having attackers that can actually.
Just to say, you meant Arsenal, right?
Yeah, but you've got. Did you not watch that first half? 17 shots to 0. Do you know what I mean? United. And to all extents as well, United actually, let's think about what United did. Screamer from Bruno, screamer from Mainoo. It's not like they created loads. They maybe had 1 chance or maybe 1 or 2 chances on the break.
That's more of an indictment on Liverpool, right?
Say it?
That's more of an indictment on Liverpool.
I think United just played very terribly in the first half, but Liverpool should have put the game in a state where that couldn't happen. Just 2-0 up, playing on the counter, controlling the game. It just was, yeah. I mean, So just from my point of view, I look at Arsenal and I think, yeah, I can't see you coming to our stadium and winning. I'm not necessarily saying Spurs are going to win at this moment, but I'm saying for you to come to our stadium and win. If you come to our stadium and win, you're winning the league, 100%. If you beat us at White Hart Lane, 100% Arsenal will win the league. I have no doubts about that. So we just need to see how close or far away Spurs are. Spurs just need to be testing out players in different positions, working out who's going to be in the squad next season. Because Tottenham have got a good advantage next season because they've got Liverpool, who are clearly going to have they're gonna be having an adjustment. Obviously, City should be there. Arsenal should be there again. Chelsea look like they need work. United look like they need work. So there's a good opportunity for Tottenham to take a big step against and close the gap next season, really. At the moment, I see Spurs as being like a 70-point squad, maybe 72 points if the stars align. You want to be an 80-point squad next season that can compete and win a cup. So, we need 4 or 5 good players into the first team. And yeah, other than that, though, I'm not overly concerned. I looked at what Brighton played. I looked at how Brighton played against you, and I thought, okay, we can do this much better than them. Like, we can do what they tried to do better, and with better attackers and with better defenders, and let's see what happens.
Fair enough. Let me say this, man. I just think Tottenham at this point, top 4 is wrapped up. You've got it in your bag, and you're basically just trying to keep building good habits to start off and end off the season, because you don't want to build bad habits to end off the season and carry on thinking you're better than you are. Because I've seen teams get top 4 and then not progress. So it seems like Ange Postecoglou has the right guy kind of mentality. Anybody else have anything else to say about Spurs? Because really and truly, is there a point of speaking about Chelsea? They drop points, but at this point, I'm numb to them dropping points.
I just think that's spectacular. I just think that's spectacular. That's a spectacular way. Because when I was watching the Spurs game, because we were broadly on at the same time, and when it's going on, I'm just like, when they equalized, and then I saw Chelsea scored again, I was like, I wonder if Chelsea throw this away. Because I'm like, this team has no back. I was looking at the stats and I was like, oh, Sheffield United have had more shots. And I just, with Chelsea, right? It's one of those things where everything is the problem. Everything combined is the problem. And it's not just one thing you can fix and then everything's okay. So it's not like if you bought players, the manager wouldn't still be an issue. And it's not like if you got rid of the manager, the players won't be an issue. And it's not like if you did both, that the strategy that the club's been employing isn't an issue. Do you see what I mean? So it's difficult for Chelsea to just fix it. And you've also, from my point of view, is because obviously being a Spurs fan, I notice these things. Like, when you don't win or when you have bad seasons, what actually happens then is the fan base becomes more toxic. And they become less, you know this, Agal, they become less willing to wait. Even if everything in front of them says you need to be patient, human instinct, because of the decisions Bowley and Eghbali have made over the last few years, it then lowers the fans' ability to be patient. So then Chelsea will have this reoccurring issue with new managers, that every time you get a new manager, 6 months in, 3 months in, a few games in, they're going to be heavily criticized and doubted, because unless they tangibly see it progress before their eyes, what do they say? A watch pot never boils. And that's kind of how it is when you're waiting for your side to develop. If you're constantly just looking at it every day, it's an issue. But then maybe you don't look at it for 2 weeks and you're like, oh, okay, this is cooking. This is hot. And I just think that Chelsea, their fans haven't got the appetite for a rebuild, because they spend so much time clowning Arsenal and other teams who've tried to do that. Chelsea's identity has always been winning. Like, that's been their identity, winning trophies.
Their identity has been doing it the quickest way possible.
No, but the end result was winning.
We can both agree, win now mentality. Like, win now.
But their identity was winning. If you go to Chelsea, you go there to win. Chelsea have heritage. Chelsea are big. So I think they have a hint of an identity crisis as well now, because now they're not winning. It's like, well, what is Chelsea's identity? And I don't think some fans are willing to go from.
Was that Chelsea's identity, or was that Roman Abramovich's?
Well, they were one and the same for a number of years. So we can look at them together. So now they've not got Roman's drive and desire to win. How open are Chelsea fans to becoming a Dortmund type model? Because that's a hell of a shift to go from win now, we're winners, to we buy the promising young players and try and develop them. You know, it can be a hard pill to take, no?
I think at this moment in time, Chelsea are less Dortmund and they're more like, what do you call it?
Or Leipzig.
No, Leipzig at least have some structure. I can't even give you a good example. Who's ever done what the Chelsea are doing right now? It's unprecedented. Everton.
Yeah, maybe
Everton never done something.
Chelsea's like Everton right now. They're dwindling and dropping as a club in their status.
To be fair, though, in their defense, not in their defense, but having seen how the landscape of football is, it just takes a few good appointments. Obviously, you have to make those appointments to really get back to the top. It doesn't really take 3, 4, 5, 6 years to really recover yourself. So, and they have got. I actually think they've got a decent foundation there. They've got. If Reece James ever decides to come back and play football,
they're going to sell him.
Yeah, okay. Gusto is there. They've got
Gusto's good.
Cole Palmer's there. You've then got Lavia, who's to come back. We can't say he's a failure because he hasn't played yet. So you never know with football. You never know if those three shine next season and then they get 5th next season. It's whole what they did in the past just goes out the window. So we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see.
There you go. Ram, you got anything to say on Chelsea?
B-Tech RB Leipzig, bro. You know what I mean? That's how I see them, you know. Is they buy all these young players, it don't work, and that's how it is. Inconsistent.
That was harsh. That was harsh. Anyways,
it's true though. It's true.
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah, but if I said it, I'll get crucified. Just saying. Let's wrap it up. Big up Demi. Big up Jay, of course. Jay, we're still waiting for the YouTube channel. Ram, you already know what it is. We're gonna definitely have to have another conversation eventually when you do drop points again, and if you do actually come back,
we need to have a top three show.
If you do come back and you go on the top of the table one more time, I'll publicly apologize because I don't think you're ever going to touch that top spot.
We need to have another top 3 show, Gal.
We'll do that.
Just us, City, and Liverpool.
This week is going to be difficult with me having Champions League, you having midweek games also, and plus
We'll do the next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I think there's Champions League. There's a break next week, but we play midweek games again. So
do you play Champions League the week after?
No, we play Champions League
this
week.
one.
No, wait. So don't they play Champions League back to back?
Yeah.
Oh crap, we do. Yeah. Oh no.
Because that's why you said Ram when you said they play Bayern. Is it Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do have back to back.
Yeah. So we play Bayern, Aston Villa, Bayern, Wolves. Yeah, it's not that bad.
So Tottenham. So in between Tottenham and Bournemouth,
we got 6 days. We got 6 days before Tottenham and 6 days after.
No, that's if you get through in between. What's it called? In between Tottenham and Bournemouth is Real Madrid or City.
Can we talk about yours? You got after Manchester United, you got Atlanta, then Crystal Palace, then Atlanta again, and then Fulham, West Ham away, and you also in that Fulham West Ham away, they squeezed in another game.
It will be either Benfica or Marseille, which
I can't lie to you. Atlanta ship a lot of goals.
Stressed about.
Doesn't really know how to defend.
City,
I'll say it's not too difficult.
City got Real Madrid, Luton Town, Real Madrid, Spurs. I think they could drop points.
If we get Benfica, honestly, I'm sitting comfy. That game is a blowout because I think we smack them. Honestly,
I think you smack Marseille as well.
Anyways, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up here, guys. We've been going for almost an hour and 30 minutes almost. Jay, I appreciate it. Ram, we call it Demi, Cam, and of course Vader also joining. And a big up to everybody watching. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out. And if you're watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. It's absolutely one of the best channels out here. Check it out. What are we doing? Let's get this show out on the road. We're out of here, people. Peace.